Always a pleasure to talk to you.
And you.
Obviously, this is a fascinating story because this is a man that I think in modern times would have been the most celebrated person, or one of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think it's the reason that everybody really wanted to do this film, was because I can't believe that I didn't know more about him. I can't believe that I didn't know his achievements, and I can't believe that I didn't know what happened to him, you know, and I really felt that probably about 5 years ago when I first read about him in a British newspaper and went, how do I not know about this person? So I think it feels like a very important story to tell, particularly being British, because he is a British hero, but also he should be a gay icon, you know,
exactly.
And the fact that he isn't, I think, is definitely a wrong that needs to be righted.
It was wrong timing for him.
It was, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. In many different ways, yeah.
That's true. How much do you know about Joan? I mean, how much information is available on her?
I mean, a little bits and not that much. It's very much this film. It's not a documentary. You know, this is a dramatisation, and I think it's not totally historically accurate about Joan. She's an amalgamation of different stories. So I didn't completely go in. Once I'd realised that, I didn't sort of go into the kind of hard research about her. You could completely make a film on its own just about her because she's an extraordinary character, you know, and the fact that she was sort of one of the most brilliant mathematical minds at a period where it was very difficult for women, although you could kind of argue that that's sort of the same today, and she was the only woman in the room who was part of this kind of code-breaking team, I thought was extraordinary. And also the struggle that she got to get there. I mean, the actual struggle is closer to what feminists are still fighting today, which is equal pay, you know, because actually she was doing exactly the same job as all of the men, but for a fraction of the pay. And it also took her years to get to the place that she should be. She was actually first put in as a secretary, even though she had all the qualifications that all of the guys had. And the smartest one and everything else, but still couldn't get into the room. So I thought, you know, it's an important story to tell.
Do these women fascinate you? I mean, you know, I'm thinking of a Dangerous Method as well. You know, these women are so fascinating to look back at. So do you get fascinated by them for a while?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do. I mean, look, I find lots of different things fascinating, but I think particularly people who've had to struggle so much in order to get noticed and are largely forgotten by history. You know, in their achievements largely forgotten, their existence largely forgotten, and I think it's always extraordinary when you find one and you kind of go, gosh, you know, this should be out there. People should know about her. She should be a great kind of hero in her own right. So yeah, it always feels nice to be able to sort of bring those stories to the light.
Last time we spoke about singing. This time let's speak about computers. How savvy are you?
I'm absolutely not. I hate them. I hate them. I'd like them in my life a lot less than they are, and I don't understand a word. So yeah, I mean, this was, you know, I tried to do all of the research into the maths that they were interested. I didn't understand a word. It's a completely different language. I don't have any of it. I have no idea.
So Alan Turing is not your poster boy like he would be in Silicon Valley.
You know, I mean, he is for so many different reasons. You know, the kind of immense struggle, the brilliance, all the rest of it. But actually understanding his work, I'm not even close.
So you wouldn't be his best friend in real life?
Real life, I think he'd find me really dull, yeah, and a bit stupid, actually. So there you go.
It would be interesting to know his point of view about, you know, what cinema and stars are and all these things,
sure.
if he would have found them useful to society.
I can't imagine he would have been particularly interested. But maybe, who knows? Who knows?
Let's talk about Benedict, who's a brilliant actor.
Yeah.
I think his screen presence is so great. So being, you know, with him in this film, what did you enjoy most?
He's sensational. You know, I mean, he's been my friend for a very, very long time, and it's always wonderful to work with friends, and he's always been brilliant. He's always been the actor who's been working the most, you know, and he never stops working. He is literally the hardest working person I've ever met in my life. And the fact that these things in the last few years have started to hit, and that the success has actually caught up with how brilliant everybody sort of always knew that he was, is totally fantastic. And I think, you know, his interpretation of this character is wonderful, totally wonderful. And I think, you know, it was a huge reason for doing this for me, was I was like, I know that he can get all of the different shades and all of the different complexities of this character, and he's not the sort of actor that tries to simplify it. You know, he kind of embraces complexity, and I thought that was important for this, and I think he's done it brilliantly.
Yeah, no, he's great. Did you enjoy the fashion of the 50s when it came to the 50s? Obviously, you know, Second World War was a bit alternative.
Yeah, I mean, I've only got one costume, really, don't I? It's a tiny bit more glamorous than what she's wearing in the 40s, but yeah, you know, I mean, I think we were all kind of, we didn't want it to be the glamorised version of it. It's very easy in that era to do a kind of much more glamorised sort of 1940s, 1950s look, which I have done in other films, and I think because I'd done it in other films, I wanted to make sure that this was something sort of very different. So, you know, it's a lot of knitwear.
Yes.
A lot of jumpers, a lot of cardigans. I like that.
It's not like the jewels in Anna Karenina that you wanted to bring home.
No, definitely not those.
Does that still, you know, remain important, the way you're dressed for a role? I mean, it's a cliche question, but does it really put you in the mood?
I mean, it always is, yeah. If you have the wrong costumes, it just doesn't work. You know, there's no point. If Joan in this had been dressed, you know, in something like I'm wearing today, bejeweled and all the rest of it, you'd look at it and go, that doesn't make any sense, that doesn't work. And similarly for Anna Karenina, if such a huge part of a character is vanity, you know, you have to kind of portray that. The way people dress says a lot about their characters, and particularly when you're dealing with film, which is a completely visual medium, you know, you're dealing with an instant perception of somebody. So yeah, it's very important to get that right.
Are you one to watch your films afterwards?
No, I mean, I haven't seen this yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it when it premieres here, which will be great. But no, I'm not. I very much I love it, and it's a very intense period of time of kind of researching it and looking at it and playing at it, and then I sort of leave it behind and go on to the next one.
You also have laggies as well. So
I do also have laggies, and I haven't seen that yet either.
Yeah.
Or not the finished version of it. Yeah, very exciting, very different, romantic comedy, American, modern.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it was a very different thing. I mean, I did that straight before this. And actually one of the things that I was fascinated by was that I was in Seattle at the time filming Laggies, and when I said yes to this, and I went to 4 different bookshops trying to get books about Alan Turing, and nobody had either heard of him, and there wasn't any books on him in any of the bookshops. And I thought, wow, well, that's a very important reason to do the Imitation Game. But yeah, Laggies is a very different thing, and hopefully much more fun.
Well, hey, I can't wait to see it, because I think now you've got that eclectic bunch of, you know, different films that you can see, you know, at home every time. And
exactly.
It's quite good.
Lots of different things.
Last time we met as well, you spoke about, you know, not knowing what you wanted to do next. So is it still the case? Or
Yeah, I haven't got a clue. No.
No musical for you next?
No, it won't be a musical. No, I keep saying yes to things and they can't get their money, I think because they're so odd. So yeah, I mean, at the moment I don't have anything, so we'll see.
And finally, who are your favourite actors?
Ooh, what, in
general? In
the whole world? Or
well, in having
history?
worked with, or dead or alive? That's a good one.
Wow. I mean, first, well, Benedict's probably up there. He is up there. Actually, I'm very lucky. I've got Sam Rockwell, who's in Laggies,
He's so good.
Sensational.
He's an unsung actor.
And, well, he's an actor's actor, because every single actor, he'd be well up there with their favourites, because he's totally brilliant, and having worked with him, I can definitely say he is sensational. So he'd be up there. Mark Ruffalo, another great one. I mean, Mark Rylance on stage, you can't beat. And then, actually, you know, women, I think there are so many. Scarlett Johansson in Under the Skin, I thought was so unbelievably good. But I don't think there are any actresses at the moment who are working a lot who aren't completely brilliant. And I find them all very inspiring.
I'm sure they do too about you. Sorry, she's been wrapping me up for a long time.
Thanks a lot.
Great to
Cheers.
see you.
And you, thank you.